Well, hello and welcome to lesson one of the Creative Cash Flow Challenge. I'm Bob Baker, and I'm just so thrilled that you decided to join me on this journey. It's been really exciting just watching all of the activity in the private Facebook group. I mean, there are so many people with so many varied backgrounds, and many of them are involved in more than just one or two areas of creativity. You got musicians and artists and writers and all sorts of creative folks, and from around the world. So there's nothing that gives me more pleasure than seeing that type of interaction. And throughout this 14-day or upcoming 14-day period, I'm going to be asking you to interact and work with each other and inspire each other. And so I'm glad to see that type of activity already happening. Before I get into this first lesson, I just want to encourage you to really lean into this. I mean, really take this 2-week period seriously and give yourself the time to devote to it. I know this thing is free, and quite often people take free things for granted, or I'll just kind of do it when I get around. There's not a whole lot of commitment, you know? And so I'm going to ask you to imagine that you paid $1,000 to take this 14-day program. If you really had paid $1,000 to participate in this, do you think you might perk up and try to get something out of it? It's really the attitude that I want you to embrace it with, because why not? If you're going to get involved, go all out. I mean, I know you have other stuff to do. You got a life, you got a family, you got your own creative projects, but give this a little bit of time. Also, I want to make something else really clear. I mean, there are a lot of people here that have a lot of different needs or are all over the map as far as where we are in our careers. Some people are early on, some people are veterans and already full-time in their professions. And I know there's a lot that I bring to the table. A lot of you know me from my music marketing and inspirational stuff. However, I just want to be clear that the purpose of this 14-day challenge really is on the money-making aspect of it. And the challenge part of it is I actually want you to get results within the 14 days, okay? So this is all about you actually taking action, following some of the ideas and the prompts that I give you throughout these lessons, putting them into action and seeing results by the end of the 14 days. So it's great to have long-time plans and be planting seeds now for something that's going to, come to fruition months down the line, but that's not what I want you to focus on. That's great. However, I want you to focus on things that are actually going to get results. So the whole purpose of this is I want you to be able to get tiny wins. I want you to be able to celebrate victories and have all of us celebrate with you within the 2-week period. Because by doing that, you're going to prove to yourself that it is possible to make money with my craft or make more money with my craft. And so what that's going to take is a focus on your part. The challenge is I want to challenge you to look outside of your normal patterns, your normal routines, your regular ways of thinking. Because no matter how successful you are, you have probably fallen into some sort of a routine, or you maybe have gotten a little bit of tunnel vision about what it means to generate income through the arts, through music, through books, whatever the case may be. And so my challenge to you is to really stretch your mind, to open up to the possibilities, to do the exercises and the activities I'm going to ask you to do, and to fully immerse yourself in them in a way that will inspire you to stretch yourself, maybe get a little uncomfortable at times, and discover new ways of thinking about things that are already under your nose. I hope that you really, throughout this process, discover some things that perhaps you've never thought of. Maybe you have a realization of things that you have thought of that you haven't acted on. Maybe you realize there's some opportunities that you forgot about, or that you've been neglecting, or you've been intimidated, or to whatever, afraid to pursue. And so I'm going to ask you to push through those and take some action. And most importantly, get some tiny results. I don't care how small they are. I've set 3 milestones in particular that I want you to shoot for. First is a $100 milestone. And I'm not talking about things that you already had in the works that you get paid for during these 2 weeks. I'm actually talking about things that you generated income from as a direct result of putting into action some of the things that you're inspired to do during the challenge. So again, it's $100 US dollars, or whatever denomination you want to use, $500, and then $1,000 or more. But whatever that little increment of money is, I want you to celebrate and post it in the Facebook group so that we can celebrate with you. Because not only you succeeding will that empower you, but sharing that with others will say, hey, look, it's possible. So-and-so did it. I can do it too. And so that is my challenge to you during these 14 days. All right. So are we cool with that? No objections? Great. Let's move forward. And so now we're going to move on to the worksheets, and just about every lesson that comes with this challenge will have at least 1 to 3 pages of a PDF worksheets. I'm holding them in my hands right here. Yes, these are things that I highly encourage you to actually print out, get a writing implement, and if you can do it digitally, great, but I think the paper copies with an actual pen or pencil and write on them and capture your ideas is by far the best way to go. So before we can go selling and making money and earning income, first you need to take an inventory of what you have available to sell. And yeah, you may already be selling things, and yeah, on top of your head it may be obvious, but again, I want you to dig deeper and explore some things that not only are obvious, but maybe some things that you've been overlooking, and I think these 2 pages can be very powerful in that regard. So on the first page, as it explains there, we're going to be breaking things down into the typical 2 categories, products and services. Products being things that either exist in physical form or digital form that you can sell. And services are basically where your presence or your active engagement is required. And so first of all, start by listing the current things that you offer in the product category. These are things that you already have available. Maybe you've sold them in the past, or you could easily get access to them. But they include, this is just a short list, but they include music CDs. They could be music downloads, paper books, ebooks. They could be art prints, photographs, online courses, or any type of audio or video download. I guess they could be DVDs too. So what type of products that you have, and I guess your original paintings would be products too, because they're physical things, although they also will show up in the service category as well. So make a list of the current things that you offer in the product category and just really think about it. Make sure that you have listed everything. Then do the same thing for service-oriented things that you currently offer. And again, there's many things that fall in this category, but just as examples here, that could be performing live. Obviously, if you're a musician or an actor or a comedian or something, it could be teaching. That involves your participation. Making commissioned art, where somebody pays you to do a specific type of art or design. Could be leading a workshop, which is another form of teaching. Could presenting some other type of event related to your skill. I know we've got at least one magician, I believe, that's in the workshop, and so it's all types of performance or events that you could possibly present or you're currently presenting. And also the service option could be coaching and consulting. These are all related to teaching, but they are all count as things that are in the service category. So make a comprehensive list of everything that you currently offer as a product and then as a service, and take time to write everything down, all right? Next, move on to the next page, and now list some new products that you could easily create and make available in the short term. And by short term, I'm ideally talking about this 2-week period of the challenge. But is there something that you can create? There's a lot of digitally ways of creating books and CDs and so on in a relatively short time, or maybe something you can make by hand. What can you create in the product category that maybe you don't currently offer, but that you could create and offer, whether that's a painting or a print or whatever the case may be, and make it available in the short term? There's probably some things that have been on the back burner, some things you've been thinking about that are right on the edge, or something that you could create quickly. Just make a comprehensive list of what those things are, especially if they're short term. Then list also short-term services that you could easily create and make available in the short term. And the cool thing with services is that you actually don't have to create them first to offer them. Like, for instance, coaching, consulting, teaching. You can hang out your banner or offer a class and start selling access to it without actually having to create everything. You can accept money for it now during the 14-day period, and then deliver the service, within some weeks or whatever after the program ends. But again, focus on what you can collect money on and what you can offer in that category that you have not offered previously. Okay, before we wrap up this comprehensive list of all the things that you have to offer, there's at least a couple more categories that I want you to consider to truly make sure that this list is comprehensive and you're covering all the bases. And so the next thing on the worksheet there is, how else have you made money in the past? But just think about your creative career and your history. How have you made money with your art, with your creativity, with your talents in the past? Maybe this is something that you're not currently offering, but just jog your memory. Think about the years leading up to where you are now, and who's paid you for stuff. Even if it's a small supplemental income, just include those on this list too, because they've already proven themselves to be, well, at least effective enough to bring in money. Maybe you enjoyed them, maybe you didn't. However, just getting them on this list is important. So how have you made money from your art and creativity in particular in the past? Write those down, because maybe you could activate those things again, perhaps. And then finally, how have you seen other people make money with their talents and their creativity and in a way that intrigues you? Maybe you've been a little envious, or maybe you just admired, wow, that is really cool. Like somebody used Patreon, or they use some sort of crowdfunding thing and you've never done it. So just think about those things. Think about the artists that you admire. Really spend some time. Don't just kind of give a couple seconds. I can't think of anything. I mean, really kind of rack your brain about who do you admire? Who have you noticed? What news stories or success stories have you read about in recent years that might jog your memory about, oh, that would be a cool way. I thought about pursuing that, but then I forgot about it. Capture those things down. What ways have other people made money that intrigued you in a way that maybe it resonates with something that you could possibly do? All right, so you're going to spend a lot more time than this video lasts, okay? So really turn this thing off and actually go through that and lock the doors, turn off all your devices, and spend a good amount of time making this a complete list. Then once you've done that, of all the ideas you listed, which ones excite you the most and have the greatest potential to earn $100 or $500 or $1,000 by the end of the 14-day program? So there's two pieces to that. You got to be excited about it. You got to be enthused about it to be able to pursue this with a bit of vigor and urgency, which I encourage you to do. So which ones excite you, and also which ones have the most potential to bring in that extra income, even at the $100 level. And heck, if you're intimidated by that, think about $20, $50. I don't care what it is. I just want you to get results and celebrate them. So really do this work. And so once you've identified that thing on that final list, the ones that excite you and that hold the greatest potential to earn money, those are going to be the things you're most likely going to be acting on as we go through this. So this first thing is all about identifying what you have to offer, having a complete inventory, and then highlighting the ones that really stand out for you as something that you could move on. That's your homework. That's your challenge. And post your thoughts on this in the Facebook group. If you're stuck, if you're going, I can't think of anything that I could do, or whatever, post that. Or if you're going, hey, I got a million ideas, share your wins, challenges, whatever, in the Facebook group. And that's a great resource, a place to go to get and give advice. So that's the end of lesson 1. I was hoping to keep this short, but I think it went on and on. But that's good, because there's a lot to say just about this first lesson. Again, thank you for taking the challenge, and good luck with making that list. And I'll see you in the private Facebook group, and I'll be back within 2 or 3 days with lesson 2. This is Bob Baker saying so long for now.